Alright, moving on from Bear Battle, you're gonna hold up, left, and sprint, and then dive like that. That's just the fastest movement to get to the telescope. And you just spam interact as soon as you land to get into the telescope. And you hold your menu confirm to get the fast telescope animations. Down with Mafia will be selected by default, so you can just mash menu confirm to get in there, or you can spam click it. Here you just time a sprint jump as you load in. If you time it well enough, you can get a sprint jump in here. And you're gonna hold down your text mesh preemptively, like that. So gonna be text, and then you do 2 dive boosts towards these guys. And there's a spot here where if you position well enough, you can do 1 umbrella swing to take out both of these guys. And you don't want to spend waste time lining this up. You just want to kind of roughly get in the spot and hope you get it. And if you don't, then you just hit the guy that you missed and move on. So it's just you can attempt to get this double hit. There's no point in not going for that. But you go hit the last guy. There's gonna be a text box. You hold text mash to cancel the text box, and then you're gonna race Mustache Girl to the buttons. And if you're fast enough, you can pick up the money over there as well. So like this, hold text mash, dive boost, pick up the money, single jump onto the button. And I don't know if you heard that, she reached the button just barely before me. So it was pretty good. The camera's gonna be weird here. You can try to do a dive boost, to the left to get in there, but the camera's very weird. I recommend just sprinting and doing a dive like that, because you saw that I was holding left and she was not doing what I wanted her to do. So when you're in here, you just hold in this direction. You want to jump on top of this chair, and then you jump back, and then you double jump and grab this light. And you climb up to the light, sprint jump up here, and you grab this bucket. You can grab it from pretty far away, as you can see. You just walk back down, and this Mafia guy is actually in the way of your most optimal path to the button. Ow, rude. Try not to get canned, but you can jump on his head, and that's actually fast. You make it right here, and you saw that money I picked up. Right as you pick up the last piece of money, you can throw the bucket. I was a little bit early on that. As you pick up the last piece of money, that should line up your throw pretty decently. You can go get the key, you can dive boost back, and make your way over here. Dive boosts, you can sprint jump to get these pawns if you want, if you think you're going to be low on money. But I don't think you actually need them. You can just do 2 dive boosts, skip those pawns, go here. And you can turn your camera while the door is moving like that. But here you do a dive boost, and then you sprint, get these pawns. Dive boost here. Sprint jump up here. So you want to open this for a yarn. And here you can do a DSJ if you're cool. If you're very cool, you can do a DSJ here. But you risk, if you do a sprint jump, then you need pretty decent spacing to be able to make the climb. So you risk kind of falling to the bottom if you miss the DSJ. You have to watch out for the light bulb as well, because you can actually block on this light bulb, which is pretty funny. If you think that's too risky, you can do an SCJ. The light bulb usually won't get in your way. Or you can just do a normal double jump dive cancel. But whatever method you choose, you want to kind of climb it on the right side, so you get the ledge climb like that. Otherwise you get this funny climb without the ledge climb, and it can screw you over. And here you just dive into the vent. You just dive into the vent as soon as you're touching it to get in your fast. You can tech this fall sometimes. It's a bit inconsistent. I don't know why it's like that. But here you charge your brewer and you throw it at this. You get a yarn. Then you go over here, and here you can do what's called fight skip. You can see this green box. This green box here is a cutscene trigger that just makes the camera pan in on this guy and just look at the guy. You're supposed to go there. So you want to avoid this trigger. And then there's this trigger behind this trigger that brings down a gate, and you have to fight 2 Mafia guys. And doing all that takes a lot of time. So if you want to save around 10 to 15 seconds, you can try doing this trick. Otherwise you just walk, you just take the normal path, and it's not that bad. because this is a little bit tricky. But you want to sprint into this corner, and you perform a sprint jump, just a neutral sprint jump, and then you hold left, and that'll start climbing this pillar. Just like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to press dive, and that'll make you climb like this. And you like just press dive until you get to the top. You kind of want to get a rhythm for this. I do like 3 taps. I do 4 taps, sorry. You do 4 dive taps, and then you like do a wall jump to get on here. So you do the neutral sprint jump like that. Hold left, dive, 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 jump. Do a line over here. So that's the first part of the trick. We're going to do the neutral sprint jump, hold left, and then do 2 dive presses like that. And you want to do the wall jump for the 5th press. Dive, 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 jump. So it's a little bit tricky. Might take some time to get used to. And once you're up here, you have to do some tricky maneuvering. You want to do a single jump, a double jump, and a dive cancel, and land here. And what's safer starting out is to do a wall climb like that and then slide down. But that is slower, keep that in mind. To avoid doing that wall climb, you have to not be holding direction as you land. Like that. But land on some invisible collision. It's definitely a bit tricky. Like that. So if you're not holding any direction when you reach the wall, then you won't climb it. But it is harder to get used to. And then you do one more of these jumps, except this time you're going to land up a bit higher. Over here. Some invisible collision here. So you're going to hit that. And you can also do like a wall slide here. I'm not sure how safe that is. Okay, I think it's fine. You can do a wall slide for this as well, if you want to take it more safe. And here, you're just going to do another double jump and a dive under that chandelier. It's like under that chandelier that's covered by like that pause screen. Because that chandelier, you can bonk on it if you dive too early, so you gotta make sure you go under it, and then you just dive and dive cancel before you hit the ground. And that'll send you right into the fight. So that saves around 10 to 15 seconds. It's a little bit tricky, but it's a nice time save, you can get it down. And it's a good, it's good practice to do some cool tricks like that, because they require, precise movement. So doing these tricks allow you to practice some of your, precise movement skills. Here I'll cut to an explanation on the fight. Alright, I brought up my uncommented video as a reference here, because I think it showcases the fight pretty well, and I don't want to get new RNG that's different from that video. So, right here when the fight starts, you can hold right and sprint before you gain control, and then when you reach this line, like around here somewhere, you just press jump, you do a sprint jump, just keep holding right, and that'll make you land on Mafia Boss's head like that. You will land a bit far right, but you will land on him. You can maybe jump a little earlier if that's not working. And if this trick is just not working out for you, then you can just do a homing attack instead of doing this, and it does not lose much time. But this is just like a cool, consistent way to get an early hit on him. So here, this fight's RNG based. You can get sandbag attacks like that. He'll do a random amount of these in the fight, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you lose time. You can lose up to 14 seconds of that, and you can lose more than that in later phases. Or maybe not more than that, but you can lose additional time in the later phases. So you basically want to wait for him to do this attack, where he goes into the corner and does its swing, and if you time this right, you can do get into a rhythm with jumps on his head, and that will speed up the attack very slightly. So he's actually throwing out these charges a little bit faster than usual if you do that. And he'll do 4 of them here. The next time he does his attack, he'll do 5. So you can react to that as well. You basically just land on his head after the attack. Like that. And he'll do another spin attack like that. And for that, you just want to get in the air and homing attack. This is RNG. Maybe he won't do this attack after doing that. You just have to know what attacks are what and what to do for the attacks. So for this one, you just get in there and homing attack him. He goes into the crowd again. You just gotta wait. And here he does the electric charge again. So here, just try to get on a rhythm, jumping on his head. See that lightning strike that goes up actually damages you. That's why you have to get into that rhythm where you like get on his head and then go to the right, and then get on his head again and go to the left, stuff like that. If you're taking damage doing this, if you're like not avoiding damage doing this, then this is probably not worth doing, and you can instead just throw brewers at him. But this is slightly more consistent, and you will like land on his head right as he turns blue, so it's pretty nice if you can do that. But otherwise, just throw brewers at him, or just wait if that's also like too much multitasking. Here's the fifth one, and I landed him a little bit early there, but not that bad. So here the next phase starts. He does a big transition scream. So he's gonna go up here. You just move out of the way and smack him. Then he will go into the crowd. That's always the same. First he will do that, and then he will go into the crowd. In this phase. Then he might go into the crowd again. So that's an RNG chance. If he goes into the crowd again, then you just lose time. But sometimes he'll go back up immediately. So that phase can actually be a little tricky to dodge. You kind of just have to learn the patterns and either just copy from what I was doing to avoid the sandbags in the Mafia guy, or come up with your own way to do it. But anyway, when he does, like when he goes back up here for the second time, you want to stand. I'm intentionally standing right here. And this is a setup to hit him into a spot where you won't perform like a backflip animation. So you stand like around here, on this line right here, on this bush. And then I knock him to the right. And now he's standing right here, and this is like where he wants to be, so he doesn't have to waste time moving himself there. This is where the next phase starts. And here, if you do a very well-timed double jump, and then jump, like, he's going to spawn a Mafia ball, and if you get in the hitbox as it's spawning, then you can, like, land inside and then jump out and climb the Mafia ball early. It's actually very hard to do, but you just, like, you just kind of always go for it, because there's no point, like, you don't lose time going for it. Like, you just go for it and see if you get it. So you can see I kind of went in the hitbox, and I jump out, and then I jump back in, dive cancel, and I can just hit him as soon as he starts moving. And you don't have to swing your umbrella at him in this, you just have to touch him. So here, he can do this attack again, but faster, and he can also do the electric thing and the Mafia ball. Those are his choices in this phase. So this is still the same, you just jump in the air and homing attack. And here he's going to do the electric thing. He always does the Mafia ball on this side of the stage, so if he jumps here, you know he's doing the electric thing. If he jumps to this side, then he's either doing the Mafia ball or the electric thing. But if he's on the left, he's always doing the electric thing. So here you can either stand here and dodge and throw brewers at him, or just do nothing, just wait, because it's all hard to read like the pattern with the like variable in speed when you hit him with the brewer. But what you can also do is you can jump over him as he's doing this. The risk with that is you will take damage most likely. So if you can't get over him, like behind him, without taking like a bunch of damage, then you probably shouldn't do this. The thing is, when you're behind him, he doesn't hit you. So I can just kind of stand behind him and throw brewers at him until he stops. And again, throwing brewers at him will shorten the animation very slightly every time you hit him. So I just wait for his attack to end, and then I just hit him. And you kind of want to try to avoid that, like where he swings you, but sometimes it'll just happen like that. Here he did the homing attack again. And here he goes to the right, so I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna do the Mafia ball or the electric thing. And he hasn't done the Mafia ball in a while, so it's kind of more likely he's gonna do that. That's not exactly how the RNG works, but that's like, if you go with that mindset, you're probably gonna be right. So I like prepare to jump in the air Because I know, like, he's on the right, so okay, I should prepare for this attack. But, like, yeah, that double jump up, I was preparing for him to do the Mafia Ball, but he's just doing the electric thing again. So, now I'm trying to get behind him instead. And I actually take 2 damage here. So you just want to be mindful of health if you're trying to do this stuff. If you have low health, then just kind of try to dodge instead. Because you might die trying to get behind him. Mega charge! Yeah, here, just keep throwing brews at him and until he turns blue, and you can hit him. And that was the final attack of this phase. Sometimes he'll do electric twice, sometimes he'll do Mafia Ball twice. It just depends on the RNG. But when like this happens, that means you beat him. You can switch to your sprint head, and you want to run to this line right here. And when the curtains close, you just time a sprint jump. Just like that, and the timepiece will spawn inside you. So... that's down to Mafia. The fight's, like, has a lot of information in it, but honestly, if you're starting out, as long as you can survive, you're probably fine. You don't have to worry too much about optimizing the fight. It's good to know stuff about the fight, but you don't have to focus on optimizing every single detail when you're starting out, you know? I did leave out plenty of stuff. So, similar to Barrel Battle, you can go back to Hub here as well. There's going to be a loading icon in the bottom right. It's covered by this funny sticker. But there's going to be a loading icon in the bottom right. And when the loading icon disappears, you can go back to Hub. Just like that. And that's now it's Mafia done.